I am Michaelia White. We are live at Boondocks Family Fun Center. It is a day for Wednesday's Child. We are so excited, and we're actually getting ready for a big party. In just a little bit, this room is going to be filled with families. There's going to be face painting. Jake Jabs and his team will be here. We're so excited to continue this celebration as we raise funds and awareness for Raise the Future. So last year, 711 children and teens were adopted out of foster care, and a 2018 report from the Colorado Department of Human Services showed that of the kids and teens in foster care that Raise the Future was able to advocate for, 70% of them were adopted. That is incredible. Kids who only received traditional services, about 44% of them were placed permanently. But you know what? It takes money, it takes time, it takes effort to make all of those connections happen. And state funding has changed for organizations like Raise the Future, and those dollars are getting reallocated, so they need to make up the difference in donations. So joining me now is Ayers. She's CEO of Raise the Future. Ann, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Michaelia.
We appreciate you always. Great to see you as well, as always. So first of all, tell me, what is the mission of Raise the Future?
At Raise the Future, we find families for kids who don't have them. So it's pretty simple, and then we make sure that those families stick together. These are kids who've been through disruptions and trauma, and so sometimes parenting them can be really, really hard. So we both make the connection, and then we make it stick.
Yes. And how do you help kids make that connection once they do find that caring adult?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because these are kids who maybe have gone through a lot of rejection, and they've had cycles of not being able to stay attached. We really have to teach them how to love again. And so we start slowly and say, hey, would you like to go to lunch with this person? Or would you like to remember your 8th grade coach? Or we find people, and then we say, give it a try. You know, but it takes a little bit of coaching and a little bit of our own love to help them take those risks.
Makes all the difference. So Raise the Future works with kids who linger in foster care. What kinds of challenges are they facing too? I mean, there's a lot of them in their journey to a permanent home.
Absolutely. So we tend to work with children who are 9 and up. They've been in 5 or more placements. So that means that they've been in 5 different foster homes, and for one reason or another, they've had to make those transitions. And many of them, about 50%, have had a failed adoption. And so a lot of them also have some sort of a learning difference or some sort of a physical disability, or, you know, some mental challenges. And so and that's understandable, right? It's a lot of trauma when you're little. So we help a particular set of kids who tend to just, as you said, linger in the foster care system. It's harder for them to make connections. So we have to work harder to help them do that.
And it's just even sometimes instilling that worth in them, right? They're worth it. They're worth something. They mean something.
Absolutely. And I think days like today and you meeting so many of our kids, it makes them really feel like, if someone like you who's on television thinks that they're worth it, if donors give money and make them think that they're worth that, it affects our kids. It really does affect our kids. So we'll have professional athletes occasionally who'll come visit, and they think, gosh, if this person's going to pay attention to me, maybe I have a shot at having a family.
And each one of them is worth it. I see you getting emotional too. We were talking about this earlier. We were at the Capitol earlier at the Heart Gallery. Can you talk to me a little bit about the Heart Gallery and what that does too?
Absolutely. So the Heart Gallery is a set of photos that we do with professional photographers for several of our children, and those photographs are then used as we're trying to talk to families or to other adult connections about these kids. It's really important, but you know what I've learned over the years? It's not so much what the adults see in the photos, it's actually what the kids see. A lot of our children don't have an opportunity to see a printed photograph of themselves. They don't have a home where they go and there's something on the mantle. And so I've certainly witnessed and been with kids who, when they see this professional photograph and it's handed to them, they'll fall to their knees. And they see themselves in a different way. They see themselves in a beautiful natural environment, for example. And it helps because sometimes, I think that our state and our county workers are fantastic, but sometimes resources only allow for them to take a photograph, you know, against a black background or something like that. So it really helps our kids tell their story.
You're making me emotional too. No, I did. So talk to me about the services too that you do once those families are placed, once they're placed with families, those kiddos.
This is something, you know, Raise the Future has been around for 40 years. And one of the things that we realized is that once we make a connection, sometimes those connections don't stick. It can be hard. And again, it's because these kids aren't used to making connections. They're relearning how to do that. So what we do is we surround them with really it's kind of a mental health parenting system, and we teach the parents, how do you connect with a kid who's been through trauma? How do you connect with a kid who's maybe a little bit afraid of a relationship? How do you connect with a kid who doesn't trust that you're going to be here tomorrow? And we have a really great program for doing that. We do a caregiver series. The parents learn with us for a bit, and we actually do in-home coaching as well.
And you also do something called TBRI. Talk to me about TBRI. It's so important.
That is the name of what we've got, which is
Yes.
trust-based relational intervention. I love, sometimes people think because it has a T, the first word is trauma, but it's actually not. What we're focusing on is how do you rebuild trust. And so that is the name of the program that we use when we go into homes and we talk to kids.
Thank you so much. Really quickly, too, what's your favorite part about today? What do you love about A Day for Wednesday's Child? Really quick.
I love the smiles that you get to see on these kids' faces. I know that doesn't happen every day for them, and so if we can give them a little bit of play and a little bit of light in their lives, that's the best. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we will be live out here. We're going to be joined by Michael Spencer in just a little while, but we will continue to keep you updated throughout the night. We'll be live till 10:30. For now, we're live at Boondocks, Macaulay White, covering Colorado First.